All those things, none of those things that I talked about started without, General Abrams in 1974 looking in the Army and saying, how do I solve this problem? I know, I start 1st Ranger Battalion.
So Abrams Charter, right after the Vietnam War in 1974, General Creighton Abrams was the Chief of Staff of the Army. He identified the need for a unit that could kind of help write the course of the Army from like a cultural standpoint.
When there was no discipline in the Army, there was no trust in our government, and General Abrams said, well, how do I fix this? I know, I'll create a Ranger Regiment, right? I'll create a Ranger Battalion, 1st Imperial.
Right, the Ranger Regiment has established itself, and they're letting the rest of the forces know that this is what we identify with the Ranger Regiment and our expectations of them.
Professionalism and performance. Wherever Rangers go, they're ambassadors for the unit, and they're charged to uphold Abrams Charter in that they should be better with their hands and weapons than anybody else. One of the ways that Rangers do that in the modern era is things like the best Ranger competition, the Army's best squad competition, accolades from NCOES schools, whether that's, the honor graduate, the Ironman or PT award. I think that we see Rangers fulfill the charter by going out and interacting with, soldiers in the rest of the Army, and then their performance speaking for itself, whether that's, actual physical performance, academic performance, or just their daily conduct for, amongst peers or superiors.
If the battalion is full with hoodlums and brighams, it will be disbanded. That's a pretty bold statement, right? Because how do you identify? Living the creed, the charters, the Big Five, the Blue Book. That's a super hard ask every day.
But when you're serving an organization like the Ranger Regiment, that continuous assessment is a necessary evil that keeps everyone in line. It's really hard to say this without being, sharing some sort of negative view on it. But what's in line mean? Following the Blue Book, following the charters, doing what the Ranger Regiment asks of you. It's what the country's asking for you. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it's a lot bigger than people think. One of the benefits of how the charter works well for the Ranger Regiment is when you leave the Ranger Regiment and you show the rest of the Army what you're capable of and how you can build and support their organization to make it better, and you want to still come back to the Ranger Regiment, you still have to go through that same assessment and selection. And so that helps keep you dialed in.
General Abrams had some good foresight in kind of the way that he, built the foundation for the Ranger Regiment. His charter doesn't speak about anything super complex. He's not talking about, mastery of modern TTPs. His emphasis is on the mastery of the basics.
We're an elite, light, proficient infantry unit that's the best in the world with our hands and weapons than anyone else, and we're not filled with hoodlums or brighams, right? That's it.